Hey y'all, hope you're having a good day. Boy, there's been a lot go on, huh? Um, so there's a lot to kind of sift through, I guess. So Don Sherfy Sr. Evidently is in a relationship with um, Mary Goad, her daughter. Okay. Now Mary Goad and Dawn Wells' deceased stepfather were brother and sister. So I guess apparently he had promised Mary the property when he passed away, and Dawn's mother outlived him. So the property got passed on to him. To her, excuse me. And when Dawn and Candace and the kids came up there to live, I guess instead of the property going to Mary, she just willed it to Dawn and that family. Okay, so I guess there's been an ongoing feud because of that. Now, since Dawn Sherfy is dating Mary's daughter, um, that's his connection with Ben Hill Road, and evidently he goes there every weekend to spend time with her. The Mary and her daughter live together there on Ben Hill Road. So Donald Wayne Sherfy Jr. Is the one that everyone's been looking at. He is interesting. He is. He does have over 10 charges of 100 plus child pornography on his. He was charged with it. So that's highly interesting. Now, Prayer Garden said that Dawn Wells told her that Junior was at the base of his driveway with his kids playing at the base of their driveway that day. But allegedly, Dawn Wells wasn't home that day. He was supposed to be at work. Even though Fred Hill says that he saw both Dawn and Andy on Ben Hill around 3:30. And that is not true. Dawn Wells actually said that he never told her that he didn't know senior or junior, and that they've never met. So I don't know where Prayer Garden got that information, but it came out of Dawn Wells' mouth that was not true. Now, Senior also said that he had to run Dawn's kids out of the road often because they were driving down the road. And Dawn Wells also says that is not true. That anytime the boys were on the motorcycle track or whatever you want to call it, the trails, that they actually had permission, and that they wouldn't go down there without permission. Now, Dawn debunks that completely, and I have to say, I think that probably that Senior has seen the boys down on the gravel road down, or it's not even a gravel road, it's a paved road, but kind of a roughly paved road. It would have been in Dawn's best interest to say, "Oh, really? The kids were down by the road," because then it would have given a more plausible reason, a second thought that maybe somebody did pick Summer up. So I think that probably the kids weren't off the hill unless they had permission, or they knew that they were off the hill. That's my opinion. I just think that if that were true, that would have looked more favorable for someone abducting Summer. That's just my opinion. So also there's been some talks about the footprints that were a child's footprints when Summer went missing. And it has been told that it was on Mary Goad Sexton's property, but that actually was on Andy and Jody Sue's property. Now, I talked to a woman, if y'all listened to my first trip to Rogersville, I talked to a woman whose husband was a EMT that was out there during this whole commotion, and he told her that the feet print were found not to be Summers. Okay, it's all hearsay anyways, but to me, just coming from somebody that was actually down there, that seemed fairly credible to me, and in my opinion, I believe that to be true. Okay, now let's go back to Donald Sherfy Jr. Okay, he's looking at some serious child pornography charges. That does make him a person of interest, in my opinion. And another thing that is interesting about this guy is he did have a red S10 that was registered in his name. It has since been registered in, I believe, Virginia. Don't quote me on that. But there are certain things that still wouldn't make sense. Now, they should definitely look into him. It's been told that he has not been interrogated, not even interrogated, just questioned. But his father said that he hadn't been down there since the first months of 2021. In my opinion, since he has been to Ben Hill Road, that he definitely needs to be looked at. I think every person needs to be looked at, for sure, absolutely. I'm not for just throwing Dawn and Candace under the bus and rolling over them without, looking at every avenue. We have to look at everyone. And there's a lot of people that in the surrounding area that are someone to consider. I mean, but Senior says that his son hadn't been down there, like I said, January, February. Now, if that's true, then that would rule him out. But the police have to go question him, see where he was that day. All of that needs to be, looked at. Of course, absolutely. Then, Cam and Allie were talking about they could have gone up through the bus trail. Now, I've got this picture up for you. Okay, we see Grandma's trailer down at the bottom, right? Now, the dog trail, there's like a little black thing right beside the driveway. And that right in between, right in that general area is the dog trail that Dawn Wells has been pushing. Okay, Cam and Allie's talking about down here by the bus. Okay, but look where the tree is. Okay, that's a clear sight from Grandma's trailer. So let's say Summer came out the back door and went to her swing. Okay, well, that's a pretty clear shot. Now look at the distance from the bus to the tree. That would be that someone would be crossing in an open area for quite a distance. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but I think that someone going from the bus to the tree, that the likelihood of them being seen is much greater. Okay, now let's go back to the little black dot where the dog trail is to the house. Okay, now if Dawn and, I mean if Grandis and Candace are standing up, they can clearly see that area. But let's say they're preoccupied. Okay, so someone could run off with Summer, but the problem I have with the whole abduction thing is this. One, I've seen the property, and I'm not saying it couldn't be done. It would, if it was done. It's done by somebody that's been to the property. Don Wells says that he does not have any idea who Donald Wayne Sherfy Jr. is. Never met him. Now, that doesn't mean that but why would he be hiking their property? Evidently, he's only been to Mary's house a few times. So, I mean, what's the likelihood? I don't know. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm not saying, but someone would have to know this property. Like, I wouldn't just, being someone just driving by, I would not say, hey, I'm going to go hike around on this property and see if they got a little girl up there. I just don't think that's likely. But here's the big thing for me, is there is a huge, almost 3-hour gap between the time Candace gets home and the time that they call the police. Okay, so in my mind, something has happened between 3:30 and 6:30 when they called the police. Do y'all agree with me on that? And I have to say that just recently on Prayer Garden's channel, Candace actually changed the time frame. She's saying 4:30 now. That's very suspicious. Why go 7.5 months and say 3:30, and then all of a sudden now it's 4:30 because Jody Sue says? You see what I'm saying? She's trying to make this work. And the other thing that bothers me is that Dawn was trying to call Candace while she was on her way home and find out what time she was going to be there. Why does he need to know what time she's going to be there? Maybe he's just curious, but it just seems very strange to me that on this day that Summer is missing, that he wants to know what time she's going to be home. It just seems very peculiar. Now, if I was looking at the abduction theory as a fact, I wonder why this building here hasn't been brought up or considered. It's a hideaway. You see, you've got the lookout areas, and it's closer to the swing, more in the yard. To me, this would make more sense, someone laying in wait here than in the woods by the dog trail or back behind the bus down that trail. In my opinion, it just doesn't make sense. I don't believe that it was an abduction. That is just my opinion. I think something else has happened to little Summer. I wait for the day that the truth comes out. I just wait daily for that. And I believe it will come out eventually. And I do hope that whoever is involved, whoever it is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and they get everything they deserve. And I just wanted to throw these ideas out at y'all. And I'm working on something, so I'm going to get back to that. Hope y'all have a great evening.